Make a speech whether you are in favor of abolishing K12 curriculum. If I were to decide, I would say I am in favor because in the Philippines, education is not free. Government doesn't pay for all the expenses in our schools, unlike in the other countries. So we are trying not to be behind them. We are trying not to be behind when it comes to education. But we need to remember that the poverty in the Philippines is very high. And first thing, the education is not free. Like what I said, government doesn't pay for our education. So we need to remember that in the other countries, education is free. The government pay for all the education expenses. They do not pay books, they do not pay food, they do not pay any other expenses, unlike in Philippines. Educational expenses in the Philippines comes from our pocket. We need to remember also that we are short of teachers, materials, and facilities. Already before the K-12 curriculum, we are already short. But what for now that we have 2 years extra in high school? I've heard from many people or students in my home country that because of this K-12, it takes them longer to find a job, to be able to finish the college, because we have the saying in Philippines that education is the way to success, or that you can get away from the poverty. So if you came from higher class family, of course you are much able to afford it. Once you are in the middle class, it's some can afford, some cannot. But if you are in the lower class, like where I came from, it's almost impossible for us to be able to have a higher education and for our parents to pay for all the expenses in the school. So adding 2 years extra make it slower or tougher for many students to be able to get away from the poverty. So some of them is not finishing the education anymore because they wanted to have a shortcut. They want to find a job already. They want to work already to be able to help their parents and other siblings or relatives that they can also have education. So the poverty in Philippines is very high, so we are not able to sustain our educational expenses, unlike in the other countries. So we are trying not to be behind, but at the same time, we need to remember that not everybody in the Philippines can afford to get a better education, unlike in the other countries, which is government pay most or all of the expenses in the schools once it comes to the education.